Welcome to Rewind, the show where we explore late 90s and early 2000s pop culture that has impacted me and many others. And on today's episode, we're talking about Halo 2.
Halo 1 was a pretty good game. Not just gameplay-wise. I mean, it was fun. Halo 1 was fun. I think we spent years, frankly, at this point, saying, how do we ratchet the bar across the board up for Halo 2?
In a lot of ways, Halo 2 is just an extension of all the excitement we felt at the end of Halo 1 and that we didn't get to express.
One of the most eagerly awaited video games finally goes on sale.
Preparing to rewrite retail history.
Video game is expected to have bigger first-day revenues than any movie has ever had an opening day at the box office.
Biggest retail launch.
The most anticipated game in entertainment history.
Halo 2 sold 2.4 million units in 24 hours.
And there's going to be another 1,200 stores in London, Seoul, Tokyo, Toronto open in similar Midnight Madness events. I mean, this is bigger than a video game.
The anticipation around that, coming, that Halo 2 was going to land, I think it was just a kind of magical moment.
Is this the best video game in the world? Definitely it is.
Halo. Video gamers across the country are anxiously awaiting the midnight release of a game called Halo 2.
Part 2s of most media are always tough, especially if you have a predecessor that's held to an almost godlike status. Living up to the hype and exceeding expectations while also trying to push the franchise forward is an arduous task that most usually fail at. In this case, Halo 2 overcame such hardships. And insurmountable. It's funny because it's in a case. In this case, Halo 2 overcame such hardships and unsurmountable odds. In gamer terms, it was poggers. Most people know about the punishing development hell Halo 2 went through, which is the primary reason for all the blemishes this game has, as well as all the cut content that upon further research sounds freaking amazing, and it makes me sad that we will never get any of it. But today I just want to focus on why I love Halo 2 so much and my experience with it. The Halo series is what I credit to turning me into a gamer and why I love video games so much. If you haven't already, check out my other videos on Halo Combat Evolved as well as Halo Infinite. The link to our Halo playlist is in the description. Halo 1 is such a banger and a big part of my childhood, so of course I was excited for Halo 2 even though I was only 7. I've got some baller-ass parents. I got Halo 2 and the rest is history. Real talk, they don't do physical games like they used to. Look at this freaking manual. They put so much info into this. I remember whenever I got new games from the store growing up, I'd always open up the manual and flip through it on the drives back home. Oh man, I miss the gaming manuals. I finally played through the remaster of Halo 2 as well, and wow, these cutscenes are incredible. As a kid, the original cutscenes were amazing, but these are on a whole new level. I want a Halo TV show to look like this. Thanks. Also, I'm not going to be talking about too many differences between the original and the remaster. There are pros and cons to both. My honest recommendation is just play the remaster. It's more accessible and is great to say the least. It is a bit buggy at times with things clipping in and out, but nothing game-breaking as of 2022. A very big shift from the first game to this one is a bigger focus on the narrative with a deep dive into the Covenant and learning more about them. Right off the bat, we see the dichotomy of both factions and how they respond to the previous events of Halo. Chief and the humans are celebrating and being praised, while the Covenant are punishing our homeboy the Arbiter. Halo 2's story is super rad, with one of my favorite parts being Arbiter's character development, and we will get to that in a bit. Halo 2 stays true to the golden triangle of combat, but adds new elements to it and new weapons. Dual wielding is awesome and super broken at times. They added tons of new weapons, from the fan favorite being the battle rifle. One of my favorites was the energy sword. I remember as a kid playing the first Halo, and I thought if I kill a sword elite, I may be able to pick up his sword before it blows up if I'm fast enough. Nope, not possible. So the fact that I could use it in this one was awesome. You got a new SMG, a carbine, a beam rifle, a sentinel laser, and a fuel rod cannon. So many new toys to play with and kill enemies. The combat is definitely the best part about Halo, and this one really ups it and makes encounters fun. That being said, the game really struggles with difficulty balance. Legendary is basically impossible. You die way too fast, and on co-op there is no respawning. The absolute worst are the beam guys. Sniper jackals are god-awful. They snipe you in one shot, there are so many of them, and they usually kill you before you ever even see them. What was the worst part about Halo 2 that you remember? No.
Having to restart at the checkpoints on Legendary.
That was the worst part? What made it so hard though besides that? What were the worst guys to fight?
Flood was the first guys to fight. What the hell?
What? Ready? We're gonna jump. No, we gotta jump onto it. Don't jump right into all the guys. Halo 2 is the only one my dad and I never beat on Legendary. We got to the second to last level but just couldn't do it. The poor difficulty balance is a tremendous issue with Halo 2. Most of the game's problems come from the time crunch that the dev team went through, and honestly the fact that we got what we did is amazing to me. Some of the level design isn't great, it's pretty linear compared to Halo Combat Evolved, but there are moments that are awesome. Delta Halo is a real treat, driving the tank and blowing everything up. Fighting through High Charity was pretty cool, flying Banshees and boarding a Scarab. There are plenty of cool moments in Halo 2 with some of the most badass cutscenes and one-liners as well.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Permission granted.
He flew pretty good.
The library in this one sucks. Fighting endless hordes of Flood and Sentinels, but this time, if you don't destroy the bodies of the Flood, a spider can bring them back to life. Once again, it's moments like these that do a really good job of showing the player how terrible it would be if the Flood got off Halo and were able to infect other places. All that being said, the levels are really short and very linear. The new enemies they added are pretty enjoyable to fight. I've always found it satisfying headshotting brutes with a carbine and seeing their bodies go flying. Headshots are still the best way to kill them, carbine for the win. Drones are cool too, but super annoying. They really did pour a lot into Halo 2 with lots of familiar celeb voice actors. It's fun fighting alongside David Cross or hearing Hellboy command me around.
We will be too, sir, if we don't get the hell out of here.
You hit Lorraine?
No, sir.
Form a defensive perimeter around the cluster. Commander, get to your ship. Link up with the fleet.
Yes, sir.
You have the mech gun, Cortana. As soon as they come in range, open up.
Gladly.
Something's not right.
They also added really good music, with Breaking Benjamin doing a track, as well as the remaster. They added music to sections that didn't previously have any. I would find myself flipping back and forth at specific scenes just to hear the music and whatnot. I have played so much of Halo 2's campaign over the years with my dad and friends and have it pretty much memorized with the occasional skip or glitch. What most people played Halo 2 for was probably the multiplayer, but I didn't play it that much. I did do local split screen with my friends and family, but screen cheating was a thing, so we didn't do that much multiplayer, as well as we didn't have Xbox Live. I do remember, however, that Zanzibar was our favorite map to play on when we did fight each other. Playing through the campaign as a grown adult, I have a greater appreciation for the story, and like previously mentioned, really enjoyed Arbiter's character development. Spoiler warning for Halo 2's story. Skip ahead to the timestamp if you want to avoid spoilers. Playing through Halo 2 as a kid, I didn't really appreciate the story as much as I do now. Chief's side of the story is still pretty much the same. We need to stop the Covenant from activating Halo and destroying all of us. Arbiter, however, is taken on a journey of discovering who he is and what he stands for by undergoing betrayal and having his beliefs shattered. He is an elite, which are the right-hand aliens of the Prophets, who talk a great deal about the Great Journey. Arbiter becomes the Arbiter because he failed his mission when the demon, Chief, blew up the first Halo. Arbiter goes through and kills heretics, which are against the Prophets because they know what Halo is, a weapon, and will wipe out the entire galaxy. Arbiter learns all of this and eventually realizes that the Prophets are false and leading the Covenant to destruction. He even teams up with Chief to find the Icon, the key to activate Halo. It really is a fun ride seeing Arbiter come to terms with everything, even though it can be devastating finding out everything you believed in was a lie and that the leaders you looked up to weren't actually good dudes. You can really feel it in this final scene when Arbiter is talking to Tartarus.
The sacred rings, what are they?
Weapons of last resort, built by the Forerunners to eliminate potential flood hosts, thereby rendering the parasite harmless.
And those who made the rings? What happened to the Forerunners?
After exhausting every other strategic option, my creators activated the rings. They and all additional sentient life in 3 radii of the galactic center died. as planned. Would you like to see the relevant data?
Tartarus, the prophets have betrayed us.
The ending of Halo 2 has been one of controversy since the release, but I think over the years people have come around to really appreciating it a lot more, as well as falling in love with the Arbiter. In the beginning, fans weren't as open to playing lots of the game as anyone other than Chief, but now fans are begging for his return, which would obviously be super rad. Halo 2's story really is something else and is a very fun ride. Due to the dev issues, this game has lots of crazy glitches, and those are really well showcased in speedruns of this game, so if you want to have your mind blown, go watch some Halo 2 speedruns. We also did a Halo 2 race on our gaming channel. I will link that in the description for you to check out so you can see just how well I have this game memorized. I love Halo 2. It's such a fun game and even better with friends. The combat is addicting, the randomness is hilarious, and it's just an overall enjoyable experience. If you are wanting to play Halo 2, you can pick up the Master Chief Collections on Steam or even play it on Game Pass, which I still believe is the greatest subscription service for gamers. $10 for like a billion games? Hell yeah. Halo 2 is a gaming gem, but I mean, of course it's not without its faults. I've touched on a few in this video, but overall this is an entertaining experience, one that I've gotten countless hours out of. This is for sure one of my favorite Halo games with such an impactful story. You should play Halo 2 and finish the fight. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoy it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We make videos like this all the time. Also, big shout out to our Patreons. If you want to support the channel and like what you see, head on over to our Patreon where you can subscribe for behind the scenes content, bonus features. We're also doing movie watch-alongs as well as bonus podcasts. And if you guys want to support the channel even further, you can head on over to our merchandise store and check out t-shirts like this Rewind one that you see. We also have hoodies and other RadKatz merchandise as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep it rad.